Some green orc described my eyes as enthralling, so I shattered his spine. For the Horde!
Hey, it's Soul, and welcome back to another episode of Warcraft Weekly. Did you guys know that this show right here is the #1 rated YouTube series that is called Warcraft Weekly, that is posted on Fridays and Saturdays? That's hosted by me. Yes! The show is brought to you by the beautiful sponsors over here, and there's more of them at the end credits. It always warms my heart to welcome new patrons such as... crap. Never mind, let's get right to the news. First, in some classic news, PC Gamer held an interview with game director Ion Hazzikostas, who revealed some interesting information to help shed light on WoW Classic's content release schedule. It turns out that the Blizzard team expects that by the end of 2019, that's just a couple months from now, Classic will be ready to move on to Phase 2, which will feature the PvP honor system, world bosses, and the Dire Maul dungeon.
That should be DRM. DM is Dead Minds.
No. DM is Dire Maul. Dead Minds is VC.
What the heck is VC? Violet Citadel? You mean Violet Hole?
No, Violet Hole is VH, but VC stands for Van Cleef.
Van Cleef isn't the dungeon, stupid. It's a dungeon boss.
Yeah, that's what I mean. VC, Van Cleef, and that stands for Dead Minds.
Dire Maul is DRM. Dead Minds is DM.
Isn't this just like an alliance problem?
Yes.
Alright, let's get back on track. Phase 2 is coming soon. So what's leading up to this? It turns out that the top metric Blizzard has been paying attention to has not been the number of max level players per realm, but instead if realms have healthy populations post-launch. Just the other day, Blizzard announced that across realms on each region, a significant number of them no longer needed to rely on layers, the system that allowed for the number of players online to greatly exceed realm capacity.
And so, with their dark work done, Blizzard
just kind of turned off layering. So it pretty much gives these said realms the feel of a genuine vanilla server, without the phasing, without the layering.
And no Death Knights. Boo-hoo.
In the same post, they also let players know that even higher populated realms are down to only 2 layers. But let's not totally mistake this as a Classic is dying rant. It's been a month since Classic WoW launched. Among those who have been playing since the very beginning, I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are still playing. Cool. And I'm sure that there are a number of people who have quit and unsubscribed. That is totally understandable. But we're not looking at those particular people, at least not anymore. We're looking at the people who are still subscribed but just happen to be playing less. That number has gone down. There are fewer people racing for a spot in Molten Core. Fewer people who are binging 26 hours a day.
Says you, man. They asked me to roll a warlock for their raids. Like, come on, a warlock.
Fewer people are logging on at the same time, but Classic is still thriving. We knew that this was going to happen, layering going away, despite some people that are saying that layering was the next phasing and that it's always going to be there to pester us. Now, it looks like Blizzard is projecting that Phase 2 is going to start towards the end of this year, but it seems like all of us are just waiting for these certain realms with players who stubbornly refuse to leave. At best, people will continue to quit or transfer off until populations get better, or players may just have to wait a little bit longer until Phase 2 begins, or at worst, Phase 2 begins anyway, and between the burst of increased traffic because, hey, there's new raid bosses and the PvP honor system is coming in, people might see double the queues that they're seeing now. The question now is, what are you going to do?
I'm going to die on this hill.
I don't think we have enough retrospective to say that, hey, this whole layering thing, I think Blizzard did it right. But at least so far, things are looking pretty okay. In somewhat related news, Tips Out Baby is partnering with Method to host the first of what hopes to be many successful events in the Classic Duelers League, which is a tournament of duels in Classic WoW. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. Except for the part where the tournament is taking place only on US realms, specifically the Faralina realm, specifically only for the Horde. But never mind the details, this is a great example of what the Classic community is capable of. It would be nice if there was a way for more people to participate, like let's say if you can get one character and I guess move it to another realm. It It would also be nice if there was a way for this tournament to go on unimpeded, as in the other faction coming in, because Faralina happens to be a PvP server. And I definitely hope that during a crucial moment, like let's say they're doing broadcasts for the finals and one person happens to disconnect and they happen to be part of the tournament, they try to come back, they run into a giant queue, and they can't really get in because there are tons of people that are also trying to get in so they can watch the action in person as opposed to on Twitch for some reason. Maybe I'm just overthinking things.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure everything will be just fine. And that's about it for the WoW Classic news. Over on the swag side of WoW, a new book is available for pre-order over on Amazon. The Cinematic Art of World of Warcraft Volume 1. Yes, it's only Volume 1, so that means there's going to be more. The first volume covers cinematics from Vanilla all the way up to World of Draenor, including what looks to be the Lords of War cinematic shorts that preceded the launch of that expansion. This thing goes for $45 in the US and is 250 pages of
Oh, this damn stuff looks good.
So you picked one up, right?
No, I didn't. For real though, I definitely need to watch what I spend these days. I mean, BlizzCon's coming up and I bought a freaking server blade, so, you know, I ought to play it cool. Unless my wife watches this video and maybe she'll get the hint, you know. Christmas gift. Sorry. Speaking of cinematics, Blizzard decided to do what many WoW YouTubers tend to do, splice a bunch of videos together and repost it for some easy traffic. Varrock Sarfang's mak'gora is a 24-minute journey of the High Overlord, from the top of the battlements to the bottom of the battlements to, well, I'm not gonna spoil you here just in case. There's a link below if you want to rewatch your favorite orc in all of his glory. And then when you're done, join me and fantasize if the Warcraft movie turned out like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I thought the original Warcraft movie was okay, but if I got to watch 2 hours of this, I would pay to see this in movie theaters with discounted tickets. Speaking of tickets, earlier this week, Blizzard announced the sale of the BlizzCon 2019 virtual ticket. You know what that means? Virtual tickets goodies. And you know what that means? Anti-capitalist rage. Michael, aka Bellular Gaming, said that, wait. He didn't say anything.
Did you type his name right?
Yes, I typed his name right. Wow. Yo, bro, are you alive? Looking back, the 2017 virtual ticket rewards for WoW included a cool 2-seater mount with a really annoying balloon for the Horde, thanks. 2018's rewards brought us flags, big, beautiful flags and capes for people to stomp on and complain about. But it came with a classic WoW demo, yay! 2019's rewards take us back to a time of pure, innocent glory.
Fight for the Alliance with Finduin, the Murloc who cries.
Or
fight for the Horde with Gilvanis, the Murloc who will betray you and poop on your beliefs.
you don't just get a faction-exclusive pet, but also a full transmog outfit that lets you dress like a Yeti. Wait, so Yetis, they live in the cold, and the cold implies, like, north as a direction, and north equates to Northrend. Dude, this is it! We're going back to Northrend in the next expansion, right, boys? We're gonna go, like, right up to the Frozen Throne, and then flush ourselves down that toilet, and then boom! Shadowlands. Seriously though, folks, this year's rewards, they're pretty awesome. It's a transmog set, so I can wear the pieces that I want to wear.
That's right, potential one-night stand, I'm a champion of the light. But down here, I'm an animal. Rawr.
I dig these rewards, it's freaking hilarious. I mean, I can have them out all the time. It doesn't have a cooldown, I can just have it. It's great. Blizzard also seemed to learn from last year, at least so far, because of the way that it delivered its goods. No giant announcement, no hype video to unveil flags and capes, woo woo. So yeah, I'm gonna sit atop my BlizzCon bear mount wearing my BlizzCon costume with my BlizzCon pet right out in the open. Bring on the spit. Okay, no, not literally, that's no. Moving on, the other day the data mining community uncovered information that strongly suggests an 8.3 PTR build is on its way to servers. According to research that Wowhead did for me, fist bump. Shortly after 8.2 was detected, Jeremy Fiesel came out and dropped the bomb on the Rise of Ashara patch, followed by the PTR drop a week later. So it might be as early as next Tuesday that we'll see a live stream, and the week after, actual access to the PTR. Dudes, can you feel it? The hype, The excitement, it's only a matter of time. It's all happening!
Yay, BFA is almost over.
I'm still excited, man. The next couple weeks are going to be full of information, speculation, and of course, the big roller coaster of emotion. Which brings me to the What of the Week, where I call people out and I try to make myself look righteous. Before the event of this week, forum posters and fellow content creators, I like to think that we're equals. Haha. They floated the notion that WoW might skip patch 8.3 and go all the way to 9.0. What? Imagine the possibility of this happening. Like there's radio silence from Blizzard right after 8.2.5, a content patch that you can pretty much compare to a lit match. And at Blizzcon they reveal the new expansion, not the final boss of the expansion because that already happened. Oh, so that's what they meant. Oh yeah, that's amazing. I find it boggling to have a mindset that is so cynical, like yeah, BFA is so bad, let's just skip it and go all the way to 9.0. And yet be so optimistic at the same time, as in, yeah, the people are going to be loved being on season 3 for who knows how long, and oh, those essences that you've been farming for, yeah, they're only going to last one patch. Brilliant.
I think they did it for the clickbait.
Oh, you think so? Oh. Okay, but we're past that madness though. 8.3 is coming. And yet the what refuses to stop. Pushing the goalpost back a little bit. Now these people are saying that, yo, yeah, sure, there's going to be an 8.3, but you know, it's just going to be an empty patch, just a little bit of filler. The battle for Azeroth is over, there's nothing to be served here, and hey, maybe this whole 8.3 identification, it might be a fake. Man, I am open to be wrong about certain things, but shoot, the people will say to fit their worldview, man. With BlizzCon coming ever closer, the good old folks at Wowhead have serious doubts that they'll have an opportunity to data mine the patch before BlizzCon, and it's hard to argue with that. Breaking into too much information is going to spill a few too many details about the next expansion. If Blizzard is going to give us an 8.3 presentation before BlizzCon, and I'm pretty confident that it's going to happen, that's going to mean that even if an 8.3 PTR drops, it's either not going to contain any relevant data, or this relevant data is going to be like super encrypted. But I vote on the former, that the data just won't be there. After all, doing that is a lot easier than encrypting so many files that really don't need to be encrypted after BlizzCon. Of course, I could always be wrong, and I often am. While we're on that note, I'm going to do one of my favorite things, and that's to speculate the rest of the freaking expansion. Let's go! Here are my predictions, based on logic and precedence. Next week, Jeremy Fiesel will be up on screen revealing the premise of 8.3, the battle to defend Azeroth from an all-out assault by the last old god. We're gonna get a pre-season event where either N'Zoth attacks Azeroth and we're defending it in a series of quests all over the world. Or we're going to get an introduction to another sort of landmass. Ny'alotha, for example. It rises from the ocean or rises into the sky. That'd be kinda neat. Maybe we jump into a portal and ta-da, new zone. Something like that. And then the final season of BFA starts. Jeremy will describe our valiant defense of Azeroth against its greatest threat ever, and then blah blah blah, that's it. This of course is going to be followed by new features, visuals, maybe a teaser cinematic or two. Mechagon is going to get the Karazhan treatment, as in it's going to be split in half, and given a heroic and Mythic Plus version. And they will not talk about the new guild and community finder, because if I say that, then maybe it'll actually happen. We're going to get, at best, a version of the PTR before BlizzCon, with some system changes and nothing more than that. At BlizzCon, we'll get the expansion announcement and some unavoidable spoilers. Then after BlizzCon, we'll learn a ton more about 8.3 that ties us into what's going to happen in 9.0. And of course, a series of raid tests will begin. Throughout December, we'll get little updates on live servers like, I don't know, Twilight cultists popping up, or spontaneous tentacles eating people, yeah, something like that. Finally, sometime in early January, 8.3 will launch, complete with all the bits that we need to carry us through to early fall, when the 9.0 patch is out. But between that, there will be no 8.3.5 patch. This is just a guess, based on the fact that Legion's patch 7.3.5 came out in January. So there you have it, folks, all the speculation that you need. We'll find out as soon as next week how wrong I am. And that's the show. This week I held an event with my dear old guild, Prisoners of Warcraft, to celebrate finishing off the Eternal Palace. It was a simple foot race through classic WoW, using level 1 characters, down a road, through hell.
coming, Mary. The mobs are
Oh
coming.
shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh,
Are
no.
they?
I'm
Oh,
coming, Mary.
oh god, I see spiders up there.
Don't you have to run through a lot more mobs to get here?
Is it gonna make it?
No,
Easy.
I'm talking about when your corpse run. It says on the way back to here.
Whoop.
No! I was trying to be sick and
Next week, I'm going to take this footage and do commentary on that whole mess of death rattles, mostly to make a point. Simply to celebrate that the world of Warcraft is so much more than whatever content Blizzard spoon feeds us. I've been asking you folks at home and on the toilet to submit your questions so that I am fully prepared to ask any question to any developer over at BlizzCon. I want to be so prepared that I'm going to have pity on the person that is sitting before me.
In more ways than one.
Shut up. Feel free to submit whatever question you like. Any topic is free, but to help you out, I'll give you a keyword. Allied races. What sorts of questions do you have about allied races, or I guess races in general? Any suggestions to share? Send over your thoughts and that will help me craft even more questions to ask. Next week, I'm going to anticipate doing reactions to an 8.3 reveal, so stay tuned for that. I'm still working on some game design essays that might be disrupted by some upcoming announcements, so I'm sorry that didn't come through, but I hope to have them out soon. I think that's about it for me, folks, so let's get out of here. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more of this and all things Warcraft. Consider becoming a patron to help me out, but definitely come by next week. See you soon. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.